Drought conditions increase the risk of wildfires, we know, here in our state.
Work is always going on in order to protect our communities. Your reporter in Jefferson County, Andrew Hodner, joining us live tonight. And Andrew, researchers are looking into how to try and accomplish that goal.
Yeah, and it's a huge goal. After the Marshall Fire, several emergency management agencies had to answer a fundamental question. What can we do to keep our communities safe? Now, where I'm standing, these grasslands behind me in Jefferson County are very similar to what you might see in Boulder, where a team of researchers is trying to answer that very question.
Grasslands span from the Great Plains to the foothills of Colorado. And CU Boulder researcher Jonathan Henn is trying to figure out how people can coexist with nature.
This fire is critical to the health of these grasslands, essentially, but it could pose really important risks. So how do you balance that correctly?
He's part of a team working with the city and county of Boulder to better understand wildfire behavior in grassland areas, like the Marshall Fire.
They're conducive to really fast fires because there's nothing sort of stopping wind. They're really wind-driven fires.
Unlike fires in the forest, managing grassland is very different, and so the strategies need to change.
In the grasslands, however, like if you reduce all the biomass, that might work for a bit, but that's going to grow back all the next year.
One of the testing components is a potential prescribed burn, a managed fire meant to keep the ecosystem healthy while avoiding catastrophe.
It has a really low residence time is what we called it, so the fire moves across this really fast because there's not a lot of material to burn. And it burns up fast, then there's nothing left to burn, you just have bare ground and the fire's gone.
While there is still work to be done, Henn believes that the work can apply to communities all over Colorado's Front Range.
We could have some really good potential expandability to this, and that's something that is always in the back of our minds, how do we make sure that we're doing things that can be applicable to other communities?
To save homes, businesses, and lives the next time there's wind, dry grass, and a spark.
Now, if you recall, back in December, there was some scheduled prescribed burns in the Marshall Mesa area that actually dovetailed in with this research. It was called off due to bad weather and then once more in March. And as we enter the spring and summer months, as Joe and Dave just mentioned, we still have those drought conditions. So it might be some time before we see research prescribed burns happen in Boulder County in the future, but they're not ruling it out in the meantime. Here in Jefferson County, I'm Andrew Hobner, covering Colorado first.
So important, but you got to be so careful. Andrew, thank you. Andrew covers the stories impacting communities all across Jefferson County. You can always let him know your story ideas by calling our tips line, 303-863-TIPS, and you can always send an email through cbscolorado.com.